The KOR FX-9 RP, a gun we saw months ago, are very excited to now see in the US. Coming up, you'll see absolute first shots through the gun from two different shooters. We'll do full magazine plus one, see how it runs with CZ75 pattern magazines. Take it over to our trademark What's for Dinner test, see what it eats. The spinner for sights and trigger control, and do some practical accuracy before giving concluding thoughts from two different experienced and trained shooters. Coming up next on GBGuns.
All right, I have 10 rounds, I hope?
8 rounds.
8 rounds, wow. Inflation is getting it. First through the gun, let me zoom this in.
T gets to have the absolute first shots on a gun that we've been excited about since IWA Classics.
I really like the way this feels already. And I just got here, so give me a minute.
And that is a C-zone steel about 20 yards away.
Oh, those 8 go a lot faster than the 10. This is going to be a really good review. I have a lot of thoughts going through my mind. Given those are my first shots in about 2 weeks out of anything, I'm not going to start any kind of criticisms as of yet, if there are any at all, because I need to work on my grip this morning.
Did it wake you up?
And yeah, so yeah, it's going to be a great review.
First 8 rounds through the FX-9 RP. We are using crud. I forget the name of this ammo company every time. Our range ammo today is
Federated Ordnance Foundation Series.
115 grain out of Idaho.
124 grain.
Oh, this is 124.
Full metal jacket.
All right. I'm going to play with the safety. You can tell that the last time I shot was Glock pattern stuff. I was bringing the wrong grip angle. The recoil impulse is very comfortable. I can tell that with that dual recoil spring, we're getting a lot of initial velocity on the slide, and then it's slowing down because I feel start to rip, like it wants to start to flip like most guns do, and then it's kind of slowing down. I'm not getting the slam at the end as much as on regulars. Very controllable. The texture is not necessarily very grippy from first thoughts. The other initial complaint I have, I love Glock cut sights. Having the Glock U-notch and dot is not my favorite, but as I said in the tabletop, that's really not a big deal because Glock aftermarket sights are everywhere, and because of that, they're also very affordable. So far so good. Next we'll do full mag plus one. Full mag plus one, bringing us to 18 rounds on tap. As a reminder, this uses CZ75 pattern magazines, so since we have a bunch of those of different makes and sizes and capacities, you'll be seeing those in What's for Dinner. If there is an issue, we'll swap back to the included factory mags, which are Metgar mags anyways, so it should be pretty good. 18 rounds, try for a little bit of speed. Try to keep it on steel as well, see how it goes. Lost the target in the smoke, but no issues cycling, and really got some control. It's an interesting training application there to practice shooting through fog. I remembered where the target was, and that's where I aimed. All right, let's see what it eats. And it's that time again, thanks to our Ammo Squared supporters, patron supporters, and some manufacturer generosity. What's for dinner time? As I scroll by these, you'll see each of these loads has a different weight, projectile type or shape, case material, or coating. What we're looking is to see what the gun will eat. We're going to fire 3 rounds, see if it loads from slide lock, if it cycles and feeds another round of the same type, and if it locks open on empty. Today we're going from 65 grain to 154 grain. If you want to try any of these yourself, check the pinned comment over on the website. I will link to sources where I can.
For circle number 1, we have this Novex cross trainer. This is a 65 grain bullet, and I had to double check the mag because it is wicked light. It didn't feel like there was anything in there.
We've never shot this stuff before, so it should be interesting. Thunderous.
It barely felt like anything was coming out.
It sounded like a bigger caliber.
Circle number 2 is the Fiocchi 100 grain.
This is a frangible, I believe lead-free as well.
Circle number 3 is the Punig. This is 110 grain.
Nice shooting.
That felt best out of the 3 that I've shot so far. For circle number 4, we're going to move on to the SIG Elite Defense V Crown.
115 grain.
That does not want to feed.
Oh no. Give it another try.
Let me rock that back in there. No, it's not going to happen today. So mag is inserted with that V crown. I'm just going to release this and you can see what's happening there. So I think what's going on is that round is just too long and too flat and it's catching up on the feed ramp.
First no-go in a long time.
So for circle 5, moving on, we've got the aluminum cased blazer at what was usually 115 grain.
Yes. And we use aluminum steel case ammunition for the same reason you guys do. It's economical. However, the friction coefficient of the round stack of the magazine going into and out of the chamber, as well as the expansion contraction rate, are different than brass. So some guns don't like it.
But that ammo is made for this gun.
That's a pretty damn great group. Circle 6 is the PMC Suffix SFX. 124 grain hollow point. Definitely more recoil than that range ammo. But no issues cycling.
Is everything louder today?
Is it the volume control on your headset?
No, I don't. Maybe I'll try that first. But wow.
Circle 7 is federal law enforcement, or federal premium law enforcement tactical HST 124 grains, nickel plated case. This stuff usually has more recoil. Not bad in this gun. How's the volume now?
I couldn't hear anything.
Was the volume too low on your headset?
I don't know what's going on. It's a blonde day.
Circle 8, Federal Premium Syntech 130 grain. Now this is a PCC load. It's meant for slower combustion rate, longer barreled guns. Not meant for handguns at all, but it's a different load and that's what we got. So see how it runs. Very soft and comfortable.
I was going to say it sounded kind of puny.
Well, now we're getting to the subsonics, so it should be even quieter. PPU Defense Line 147 grain, jacket hollow point. It's an affordable. I also forgot to mention, we've been using Sarselmaz mags, Mekgar mags, 10-rounder limited CZ mags, all kinds of stuff in this gun throughout this test and not had any issues because of it. Might revisit that SIG V Crown. I didn't check what magazine you're using. Do you remember? Did it have a blue follower?
It's the federal, the front one. On top of the red box, that's the mag that came from the Elite.
Which is a Mekgar mag, same as what's included. So, all right, we'll rule that out. All right, PPU 147 for Circle 9. Very comfy. And our heaviest load, Ruag 154 grain subsonic. This stuff vanished for a little while and is now back as Norma 154 grain match competition super duper. Don't know if the load has changed at all, but the box certainly has. What I've got is a really ugly basic plain white box, and now they come in fancy boxes. So maybe there's a difference.
It's bougie better.
Did not like that round. Got on the second try. Let's see. Now this is the limited communist state 10 round mag. We'll see if it'll cycle. It did. Wonder what that initial feed issue was. Something to investigate if you guys want to shoot Norma/Ruag 154 grain. Otherwise, I wouldn't. Stuff smells foul.
It smells terrible.
You ever go to a park and come across somebody's dog droppings that have been left out?
Well, and there's a little bit of Old Town swimming pool in there too.
Old Town swimming pool and abandoned dog droppings.
Yeah, for sure.
Those are our scent notes on that.
I know exactly what city that's in.
All right, next up is the spinner, forward sights, and trigger control. That is our 6-inch spinner target. We are back 12 yards away. Use this target for sights and trigger control. It's a small target, and as you hit it, it starts moving. Hence, good sight picture and good trigger control becomes important if you want to continue to hit it. Of course, it's fun if you knock it over the top, and that requires timing those shots to only hit when it's swinging away.
Hang on a second. Let me put these headphones back down on my ears because that was really loud. So I didn't get reset a couple of times without completely coming out. That caused a bit of a delay.
I was wondering because that was an odd shooting cadence for you.
Yeah, definitely not what I was going for or what was necessary outside of that first round. And then with the lighting the way it is, I had to figure out if I was forward or back in that swing pattern. That worked against me. But yeah, I felt like the trigger did not reset twice. And I had to come out. The bolt was all the way forward. I checked it. So that will be interesting to see what you find out.
All right, my 8 rounds. I did notice when Tia did connect, which was, looks like 4 of the hits. Good energy on target. These are 124s. And we've got a full, proper barrel. I had a slight advantage in going second and being cognizant of the reset. In the tabletop video, you guys saw what the trigger reset is like on this. You can hear it, but you don't really feel it. And I'm wondering, Tia, were you trying to feel for it and that was the issue, or?
I was bringing it out to where a reset typically is and wasn't getting anything on the follow through.
Because to me, it's not an abnormal length of reset.
Were you riding the reset at all?
Yeah, I was riding the trigger. I wasn't, but I could hear it. I was going off the click. I didn't feel it.
And I didn't hear that click those 2 times.
Interesting. We'll have to see the footage. Maybe the footage caught it or not. I believe
I want to go again.
Let's go again.
Okay.
Tia's giving it an unprecedented second go around.
I was going to say, I never do this, so enjoy.
She also scooted about 6 inches forward.
Did I?
I'm just giving
no,
you.
No, I'm not.
Got in your head.
I got in my head, my eyes went blurry, and then I closed an eye, and it just, yeah. I could absolutely do it with this. I knew I could the second time, but obviously it's not the trigger issue. It was just not being as familiar with the trigger as I needed to be at that time. Knowing that the reset is a little bit different, I was just bringing it out all the way. So thanks for those rounds.
Now for practice. 5 shots from 7 yards using that same ammunition that I can't remember the name of, but thank you Ammo Squared and Ammo Squared supporters for making it possible for us. I'll be aiming at the left circle square. This is practical accuracy. It's also where we wrap up our thoughts.
Oof.
Not bad.
I won't be duplicating that. I'm just gonna say it from right now. 5 shots from 7 yards, aiming at the right circle square. I lost my sight picture. Told you I wouldn't duplicate it. I don't know why I think what's happening is I'm squeezing.
After shots on the FX-9 RP, I can definitely sense the improvements, and I'm excited that KOR did that. They listened to consumer feedback and said, hey, let's make something a little more like what you want. If I had to continue on things that I would improve, maybe traction, but that's a total personal preference. My palms are a little damp today for some reason, and it's so much easier to add traction. Well, it's easy to add or reduce traction, not a problem. You put some Talon grips on it or stipple it or something like that. Not a big deal. The ergonomics are very comfortable. The recoil impulse, excellent. The sights, as I said before, I'm not a fan of Glock's U dot, but no big deal. For the price of this gun and the insane options of sights out there, it's sort of like why AR makers tend to include a very basic grip and trigger, is those things are so personal preference, so widely available and so affordable, it's better to just include something basic and you change it afterwards. So I've got no complaints about that. This, we didn't put a dot on it because we run guns as they come out of the box. Might do a dot for a later video, but a very comfortable shooter. We did find one loader didn't want to eat. Okay, but it ate the others. So again, not really a problem. I'm impressed. For the value, I think this is a pretty darn good gun, and you'd be hard pressed to find a better gun without spending considerably more money. I think that cost to benefit curve gets pretty steep, especially in today's market. So good job, KOR, and thank you, Mid-America, for importing this.
So KOR Arms, again, with another fabulous product. I love the way that they fit in my hand. This area here is between where my thumb fits here and here is just so comfortable and natural for the way that my grip is on a gun. I find that the front texture and the back texture, I got those completely backwards as I pointed them, just to make sure you were paying attention, are working really, really well for me. I like the way that the X pattern works. It can cause some suction as you get going, but this pattern here is not sucking into the palm of my hand as much as I would like. The trigger, after getting used to it, is fine. I just, you know, hadn't shot for a while, and yeah, got in my head a little bit about that. But once understanding the way that this trigger operates, I didn't have any issues with it. The sights worked perfectly for me, and as I was shooting it, I would want to shoot this with a dot on it just because it's such a smooth shooter. There's not a lot of rise in the barrel, and I think that would work well with a dot. But we always like that they come with irons also.
That's a really valid point about, you know, especially people who are getting new to dots. Tracking the dot can be so tough. When you can track the dot through shots, that's when you can be really fast and accurate. You're right. This didn't have nearly the same muzzle flip that a lot of other guns do, even of the same barrel length. Partially, I think, because of that recoil system, and then of course the lighter slide helps. But
it's definitely thinner. I definitely feel the reduced weight in this. Now, regarding that SIG ammo, that doesn't mean that this gun is crud. That just means that whatever ammo you choose to run through your guns, you're going to have to play, you know, if this is going to be your carry gun, you want to know that the ammo that you want to choose is going to run through it accurately, because we shot 10 other loads that it didn't have a problem with.
6 of which were hollow points.
Right, so you've got options, you just need to make educated decisions, and that's why we do this, is, you know, in an attempt to help make those decisions so that you're better prepared. But I'm really impressed with this. Thanks.
Thanks for watching.